Well, going into the fourth quarter, 44-42. Very good ball control, I thought, in the third quarter by Palos Verdes High School. Very aggressive. They came out of the locker room at halftime very aggressive. I thought controlled the boards through most of the third quarter, although it was probably pretty even the last 2 or 3 minutes. But they're definitely playing smart basketball right now.
Well, PV has taken control of the game since the middle of the second quarter. They came out here and they played the whole third quarter. It was all PV's ball, and we see them with a 2-point lead here. We should have a rundown on this foul situation because I think it's going to be critical in the fourth quarter. Bob, why don't you tell us who all has 3 and 4 personals for both teams?
Well, right now we're looking at John Micah with 3, Jeff Whitley with 4, and Ian Phillip with 3 for the Sea Kings. And then for the Titans, Mark Dessar and John Hardy and Stu Talley all have 4. So it's going to be close. We're going to lose some good ball players probably before this quarter's over.
Well, we see RH coming out with Hardy and Abbott out of their starting lineup. Mark Tesser takes a shot and misses. They have Rick Judge in the game working hard on the boards. PV comes down with it, though. So we're into a situation now, I think, where PV has taken control of the ball game. RH has got to really pick it up and play hard. Mike Mattione has the ball on top. Now Micah has it on top. We see Mark Tesser is on Micah. Micah penetrates, and Stu Talley helps out, and I believe Stu Talley just picked up his 5th personal foul. Is that his 4th? That's his 4th personal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Talley's been playing good defense all night. He's got very quick hands for a big man.
Well, Stu, if you're looking somebody that's inside to help out on defense, Stu always knows where the ball is, and he's always in position to help. He's very aggressive, and there Micah had worked around Tesser, and Stu picked him up and picked his 4th foul up. Micah makes both of his free throws to give PV a 4-point lead, and I think we're going to have to see RH start really working. Hardy has the ball at the foul lane. He gets it out to Tesser, and Tesser gets it back into him low. He misses the shot, and PV gets the rebound. I think the tempo is certainly, and the momentum is certainly on PV's side right now, Peter. The ball's worked by Micah over to Matt Ralph. It's into Sheen. Sheen back out to Mattione. Mattione penetrates, gets up a shot, and makes it.
PV seems to keep Hardy out towards the top of the key, too. They're not letting him get underneath the basket.
Well, he's guarding Mattione, or was in that situation, and Mike was outside, so John's got to go out and pick him up. Clover has the ball in low on the right side to Donnell. Donnell back out to Clover, to Tesser, to Judge. And Rick takes a shot at the foul lane and misses it. We have RH going real cold right now, and it's good defense by PV. They have a 6-point lead. Micah has the ball at the top. We have Mattione coming out on the right side, and Mark Tesser cutting off the passing lane. Matt Ralph has it on top, working on Rick Judge. Micah's back out. Micah's trying to penetrate. He penetrates. Donnell blocks the shot, but PV has the ball. Have Matt Ralph, have Clover trying to get to the foul lane, or to the passing lane to get the ball into Ian Phillip. Ian misses the rebound, and Hardy misses the shot, and Hardy with the rebound. Have the ball over to Donnell. Donnell looking to penetrate, back out to Tesser. Got the ball in low to Hardy, and Ian Phillip picks up his 4th personal foul. We have Abbott in the game for Rick Judge, and we have Jeff Whitley back in the game for Ian Phillip.
One and one for John Hardy.
Right. John's at the line. It's a 6-point ball game in favor of PV. 5:49 left to go in the game. Both teams are in the bonus situation, meaning that each time a foul's called, somebody's going to go to the line for a one-on-one. That's what Hardy has, a one-on-one. He makes the front end of it, so he gets his second shot. 2 tallies back in the game for Abbott. John misses the second shot. PV gets the rebound. So it's a 5-point lead. And John's bringing it down. We have PV going into, well, they got the ball into Dan Sheen, and we have a walking called, traveling. He had trouble handling the ball. Ball's into Tesser. 3-point shot right now, Peter. Put RH right back in this game and give him some momentum. But PV is content to let us work that ball into the high post and take away the 3-point shot. Micah is on Clover. Steve works it over the side, gets his shot, misses it. PV, the ball's knocked out of bounds into PV. We have a timeout by RH with 5 minutes to go, and the 5-point lead with PV ahead 5 points, 48-43.
Very aggressive defense by the Palos Verdes Sea Kings here. With 5:04 left, as Charlie says, 48-43 lead. PV was behind through most 3 quarters of the game. Now has been hanging on by their teeth to a lead varying from 2 to 4 points here going down in the stretcher in the 4th quarter.
I believe we have a substitution of Abbott coming back into the game for Donnell. And so we're back to RH's starting lineup. Cliff's going, he has I believe two players in with 4 fouls. RH has 2 players with 4 fouls, right? They have Talley with 4 fouls and John Hardy with 4. Oh, we have 3 players on RH with 4 fouls. Mark Tesser also has 4. And for PV, Jeff Whitley has 4. And Ian Phillip has 4. So we have 5 minutes left to go in the game. And I believe we have a change in defensive strategy on RH's part. They're going to the full-court press right now. And RH was very effective in stopping the inbounds, and John Micah had to call a timeout because he couldn't get the ball inbounds within the required 5 seconds.
Smart play, though.
Well, it is a smart play. Of course, most of these players that we see on the floor right now know that if they can't get the ball in on that inbounds play, particularly in a situation where RH comes out and sticks a full-court press on them when they haven't done it all night. It was a little surprise, but PV did spread out and try to get it in. Could not get it in. John saw that rear early and got that timeout before the 5 seconds was up. Well, I think Rolling Hills knows what it's got to do. It's got to come out and get their defense working, get some good man-to-man defense going here. And they're going back, it looks like, as they come back out on the floor, they're going to their full-court press on this inbounds. It's a little difficult for RH to play a full-court press. They just don't have the overall team quickness to do that, Peter. But here what they're trying to do is prevent the ball from coming inbounds. And that time RH gave them a little bit of trouble, but it wasn't enough. The ball's worked into Sheen. Sheen gets the shot off. Good inside shot to make this give them a 7-point lead, 50 to 43. It was a good pass. It took a good pass to get that ball into Hardy. John worked to go to the pass. He got it, and it's a typical John Hardy shot. He had trouble getting it off, but he got it off. He stays with the ball all the way through the shot. He made it. He was fouled, and completes the 3-point play. to narrow the lead to 4 points, 50-46 in favor of PV.
Full court press.
Full court press still on. RH effectively got the ball. Worked it very good. And the ball went out of bounds, knocked out of bounds by PV. So the full court press worked for him there in that situation. Mark Tesser has the ball on the point. He's working against Matt Ralph. He gets it into the high post to Hardy, which PV has allowed them to have all night. He works it back out on top to Abbott. Abbott works. The ball stolen by Mattione. Mattione comes down uncontested for the layup. Mark works the ball inside, gets it into Stu. Abbott at the foul line. Hardy working the boards very effectively there. Possession to PV. So Hardy did go to the boards very well there and was tied up. We still have full court pressure by RH. And we have a 6-point lead to PV. Micah gets the ball into Matt Ralph, knocked out by RH. Again, here we go with the ball inbounds. Micah bringing the ball inbounds. Gets it into Mattione. Nice pass into Mattione. Mike moves well to get that. RH still has they're trying a trap. They get the ball in the center to Whitley. Whitley to Mattione on the left side, back out to Micah. So they break the press. Have Micah on top working against Clover. Sheen coming over and setting the pick for Mattione. Mattione comes out to the ball, but Tesser cut off the passing lane. Micah turns and tries to take the ball back to the key, and Matt Ralph couldn't get to the ball. So good defense there by RH. We have the Tesser with the ball on top over to Donnell. Donnell did not take an open three-point shot. He had it there and didn't take it. Donnell works the ball back to the top of the key to Clover. Over to Hardy, Clover with the three-point shot, and he missed it. Had the ball knocked out to Micah. Micah brings the ball down. Works it back to the top to Whitley. Whitley gives it back to him. John has to call a timeout. Didn't have anyone to pass to.
Charlie, you indicated that rule in the first quarter when we saw it. You have to make some advance within 5 seconds. Is that when you're on offense?
Well, the rule this year is that, and the best way to explain it is just to tell you, the guy can stand there with 5 seconds or 4 seconds with the ball. The 5th seconds, he has to give up possession. If within those, before the 5 seconds up, he starts his dribble, then he has a new 5 seconds, then he can stop again for another 5 seconds. So if, in effect, he could control the ball for 14 seconds. But the old rule used to be that he had to either move with the ball. He couldn't stand out with the ball for 5 seconds. But as long as he took his dribble, starting to penetrate or pass the ball, then the time was off. But this year that rule has changed. It seems as though to me it makes it very difficult for the refs to call that, but they seem to be doing a good job calling it. We have 3 minutes left to play and a 6-point lead to PV, and I think RH has turned their defense up, but RH has turned the defense up here and has played PV very effectively on the PV's offensive end of the court, but RH has not been able to convert on their end either. So both defenses are now controlling very effectively. Matt Ralph has the ball. He's over to Mattione, down low to Sheen, wide open layup, and he moves it. Clover with the rebound. Clover brings the ball down, works it over to Donnell for a three-point shot on the left side. It's in and out. It was a tough shot. We have a foul, I believe, on Donnell. We had as you saw, we had a little altercation there. I guess Mike Mattione didn't feel that Donnell should try to hold on to the ball as long as he held on to it. And I don't know what's been called, but I believe it's simply just a a foul called on Donnell. Maybe we have a technical. We'll wait and see here. We'll have it announced by the the PA announcer. Well, I believe we had a technical called on both teams there.
It's very, very noisy in here and almost impossible to hear the PA announcer, but I think you're right. I think they did call a technical on both teams. I think now they're deciding whether it's going to be, they're going to give each team one shot.
Yeah, from where we are, the action was on the opposite end of the court, and it was very difficult to see. The score is 52-46 in favor of PV with approximately, well, 2:39 to go. But we do have, I can see by the referee that we do have technical fouls on both teams.
Technical foul is called on both teams. For Owen Hill, the technical is on number 45, Steve Talley. For Palos Verdes, technical foul on number 24, Mike Mattione.
Steve Talley and Mike Mattione. Mike Mattione, of course, for PV are the players that the technicals were called on, and now I guess it's a question whether they're going to either they're trying to decide, Charlie, who's going to take the technical free throws, or maybe in high school basketball, if there's one on each bench, they don't give them the free throws. I don't know, but there seems to be some confusion.
Well, the referees seem to still be trying to sort this out. At the level that these two teams play at here, you know, it's easy for an altercation to occur, as this one did. You know, for players to lose their temper, but the real class player just loses his temper for a short period of time, and then he gets right back into the game.
Well, they are going to award the free throw shots. Mike Mattione is going to shoot for the PV club.
That's correct. Mike Mattione at the line, and he'll be shooting two technicals. Peter, the new rule this year is that there are two free throws on the technical. He made the first one to give him a 7-point lead, and he's at the line for his second shot. I believe during that period of time when the referees are sorting out the game, he missed the second one. Greg Jones came in for Dan Sheen, and now Dan Sheen is back in for Greg Jones.
Now I am lost here.
John Micah is now shooting the technical, I believe. Mike Mattione was shooting the one-and-one. That he was shooting the personal when Donnell fouled him. And now we see Steve Clover for RH going the line to shoot the technicals fouls for RH. But out of the 4 shots, PV converted 3 of them. Steve missed the front end of his, or missed the first shot of his 2 on the technical, and made the second one. So we now have an 8-point lead by PV with 2:39 left to go. Abbott's in the game for Talley. Abbott takes the ball in to Donnell. Donnell works the ball in and gets a good shot. Looks like it was knocked down. No call. So RH is pressing the ball. Was a long. The ball's inbounds to PV. That's a good call. Greg Jones is in the game for Dan Sheen. Coach Mihalovic is getting Greg Jones. Right. PV gets the ball in, works it in the Routh. Abbott fouls Matt Routh. That's his 4th personal. Matt Ralph will be going to line for a one-on-one.
6-point lead for PV High School here with 2:15 left in the fourth period.
And if PV just converts their free throws now, Peter, I think that they will maintain control of the game. Matt Ralph at the line, front end, shooting the first shot of a one-on-one. He makes it. Gets him a 7-point lead. He gets the right to shoot again by making the first one. He makes the second one. So it's an 8-point lead now. Mark Tesser brings the ball down, working against Matt Ralph. He gets around Ralph to the baseline, back out to Hardy. Hardy makes it from the foul lane. RH is pressing the ball, pressing to get the ball into Micah. Get the ball into Micah. Micah's looking for somebody to pass to. Gets it to Whitley, to Mattione. We're less than 2 minutes to play, and the ball's into Micah, and he's penetrating. Gets the ball back out to Matt Ralph. Matt back to Micah. So RH will just look to get the ball passed around. They've cleared out the middle. 1:38 left. Micah gets the ball to Sheen, and he misses the shot, but he's fouled. He was fouled by Rondinell. So we have a 6-point lead. 6-point lead for PV. And 1:31 left. Dan Sheen at the line for 2 shots. Dan makes the first one. Second shot, he makes it. Back to an 8-point lead with 1:30 left. Mark brings the ball down, working against Matt Ralph. He gets up for the shot early, and that's important. It's a 3-point shot.
Yes, it was. This game is not over.
The ball, they break the press and get it down to Matt Ralph, over to Micah, and back out to Mattione. In the low to Whitley.
Micah, it looks like he got hit in the eye, Charlie.
Well, there was.
He's okay.
Rabbit fouls out of the game. So John goes to the line. We're back. We have a 5-point lead by PV, and Micah's their best free throw shooter is at the line, and I believe he'll be shooting 1-on-1.
I don't know, Charlie, in high school ball, I don't have an MVP player, but John Micah certainly would get my vote, I think, what I've seen this evening.
Well, he's played a real good game. Apparently, Peter, with not seeing Stu Talley come back in the game, apparently the referees tossed him out of the game when we had that little altercation down there a few minutes ago. John misses his first shot. Rick Judge in the game for Abbott gets the rebound. Donnell is a 3-point shot, misses, and Rick Judge gets the rebound, and he fouls. Ricky Judge fouls John Micah. So we have a 5-point lead. So Mike will be going to the line for 1-on-1.
I think one of the key factors, Charlie, I think you touched on it, is PV has just absolutely denied John Hardy the low post tonight. He just can't seem to get inside.
Right. They gave him the high post and let him get the shot at the foul lane, and it just hasn't worked for RH. John Micah made the front end of that 1-on-1. He's shooting his second shot. That gives PV a 7-point lead with 50 seconds to go. Mark Tesser brings the ball down, and Matt Rouse strips it. Matt works the ball down, gets the ball back out to Jeff. Jeff back to Micah. RH has got to go pick him up. Ron Donnell does. He fouls Micah with 37 seconds to go and a 7-point lead. Well, this is a good booster for PV. As you said earlier, PV has been playing some good games in the latter part of the season, and I think that Coach Mihalovic touched on it when he mentioned in the pre-game that in the RH game it just had a number of shots that didn't fall, and that kept them from winning. And they've made those shots. Really, they've had some good scoring 61 points in this game. It's a good outfit for PV. But John sinks the front end, the one-on-one, to give them an 8-point lead. He's back to the line to shoot the second.
As we're going down the line here, I think it's interesting that, ironically, these two teams could meet up in the finals in the CIF in the sports arena. It almost happened last year. They may see each other again. Yeah, that'd be nice to see us playing down there. They both have good programs, and that might happen. I think we ought to take note at this point, and Mike Mattioni is up there. I think the unofficial count would give him about 23 points. I think the big difference tonight is that PV is making its foul shots, where that wasn't the case in the last game. And they've been able to maintain the momentum by making those foul shots, whereas in that last game it was just the other way around.
Bob, can you give us a rundown on the scoring for both clubs, real quick?
Give me a minute. Let me get a quick. Huh? Give me a quick minute, and we'll get it for you.
It's very noisy here, Charlie. I can't hear him.
Yeah, he said, Peter, that he did not have the total on the scoring right there now, but he would get it and let us know what it is. The score is 63-56. We have 29 seconds left. That's a 7-point lead by PV. RH called a timeout, try to stop the clock, so they could get set up to make a full court press. They'll be pressing, trying to keep the ball from coming in bounds. PV has Greg Jones in the game for Dan Sheen, and he breaks away for a 2-pointer. So that gives a 9-point lead to PV. That was a nice play and a nice pass by Mike Mattioni. Mark Tesser brings the ball down. He takes a 3-point shot. It's off the rim. Hardy up for the rebound. He doesn't get it. Mike Mattioni gets the rebound down to Whitley. Whitley taking the ball in, and he's fouled with 8 seconds left to go. We have an outbreak here, and they're going at it. It's a shame, Peter, to see this in this game. I think the players should have better control than this, and I think that a situation like this, the players should be thrown out of the game. I don't think anyone that gets in there and starts mixing it up, I think that immediately they should be tossed from the game. And if it gets bad enough, I think they should be suspended for other games. I don't think this has any place in the game. You play hard. Sometimes you know the play is rough, but you have to accept that from both sides. So,
Charlie, I absolutely agree. I think you're absolutely right.
But here we are with 8 seconds remaining, and it's PV's game. They have a 9-point lead. I believe I predicted an 8 to 10 point game, if I'm not mistaken. So, man, I'm really getting good at this stuff.
I guess there's an opening at CBS, isn't there?
Well, it's too bad that we see this kind of thing at the end of the game. just don't believe that we should see it. And I don't believe that it should be allowed to go on. We see a number of substitutions right now, both coaches getting some of their seniors into the game. In fact, we mentioned in their earlier broadcast that every player that PV has are seniors. The whole bench is seniors. The bench and
That's right. The full club is seniors, and these lads have seen each other 4 times this year. If you count the summer season, they really had 2 games there, and then the Marylis tournament, and then the regular season games also. So they've all been, with the exception of the early blowout in the Marylis tournament, they've all been close games. And I think we don't lose sight. A lot of these boys are neighbors. They live next door to each other, so that this is really a community ball game in the truest sense.
A 10-point lead by the home team with 1 second to go, and there it is.
Well, that's the game. 10 points, Peter, 66-56.
Yeah, it was a great game, 66-56. A little ragged at the end.
Yeah, well, we saw in this game, for 2.5 quarters, we played PV's game. They controlled the tempo. They were able to convert when they had to.